This is the Brozilla Podcast, Episode 4, featuring Methlokaiju. Alright everyone, welcome back to the Brozilla Podcast, and today we have a special guest. And unlike Kingdom Kong, he is he is the number one source for leaks and news in the Godzilla world on YouTube. You know him as Methlokaiju, and so do I. Everyone knows him as Methlokaiju, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a stellar introduction. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me in your little podcast.
Is there anything else you want?
Hmm?
Is there anything else you'd want us to call you besides Methlo?
No, you can call me that.
Okay.
I was gonna call him Chocolate Thunder, but whatever.
Okay, so today, this is the first time having a guest. This is monumental news. I know since Methlokaiju has been doing YouTube, he's always wanted to be on the Brozilla Podcast. And we finally given him the opportunity.
Yeah, this is my life's goal right here. This is why I think YouTube should be in this podcast.
Yeah, so don't expect any more videos from him after this. He'll probably retire.
He's peaked. He peaked.
Yeah, this is the pinnacle. But yeah, we're in the aftermath of Godzilla vs. Kong. I think we've netted over 300 million. I say we, like I'm part of the success. Godzilla vs. Kong has netted over 300 million in the box office. That's the last number I heard. Looking like it's gonna beat Godzilla King of the Monsters even with the pandemic. Where it has a chance anyway, and that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I hope it does. I hope it does better than Tenet too. As Tenet did 360. That's like the best pandemic movie right now, so hopefully it beats that too. That'll be nice.
Give it time. I'll get there.
Yeah, we're still in the first week or just outside of it, I think. At least for
a week
for,
ago
North
today
America.
is when it would have come out.
Yep. Yeah. So, despite I was gonna say mixed opinions, but I'd say it's overwhelmingly positive opinions. They're just that everyone has a few gripes. I think it's good that we're getting these numbers because it means that hopefully the MonsterVerse will continue. And honestly, I'm trying to figure out where it would go from here. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast at all, but Method, where do you think you would like the MonsterVerse to go from this point?
Okay, so I would say there's two different ways to answer this. So what I want to see or what I think we'll see. So what I want Gamera, and then I want Jet Jaguar. I want all these different things. But what I think next movie would probably be like a Kong 2, maybe explore the Hollow Earth. I think we could also have like an alien invasion type plot or something. I assume Ghidorah will return somehow. Jonah Allen. There's also the Jonah Allen type thing. So I think for future movies they'll do alien invasion type things and Hollow Earth, including like for Kong 2. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, that's pretty reasonable. That's what I was considering. Obviously, if they could somehow work Gamera into the MonsterVerse, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's my dream.
I would like Jet Jaguar, but I think Jet Jaguar's even harder of a sell than Gamera.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely, definitely. At least he's in singular points.
Yes. I don't know. Okay, so this is the most important thing right now is everyone hates Jet Jaguar's design in singular point. Every podcast I've made sure to say several times that I am in love with the new design. And I'm curious what you think about that.
The new design. Well, the toys look bad in my opinion. Like the design there. I think in the show it looks better, or at least some shots it looks like actually kind of decent. I also assume that maybe throughout the show they're gonna like build parts to him and make him like bigger and larger to like face Godzilla, for example. Godzilla Ultima, I guess that's his name. And so I think he'll have the more traditional look at some point, but the one right now where he's kind of like has those, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
I think it's got a charm to it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying, he doesn't quite look battle ready, at least until. Well, I will say there's the one shot where he's fighting in the trailer where he's fighting Anguirus, and he has like wheels on, and he's holding like this large assault rifle type weapon, and it looks pretty cool. There's only brief glimpses of that, but I do think his legs extend. I think that's something you can kind of see in the trailer. But again, I think Tyler's watched a few of the episodes, so obviously he might know a little bit more about that. But obviously, we're gonna try to keep it spoiler free until it gets to North America.
Right.
Some legal fashion.
Spoiler: there are monsters in the show.
Oh,
Godzilla's in. Godzilla's a guest star in this anime.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time he's guest star in his own, property.
I know I've seen the first episode.
It's been a while. You have?
The first one, yeah. I think the second one's also available, but I haven't seen it. First episode, I like it. It actually has a good pace.
Yeah, I've stayed away from it so far until I can find some way to see it with translations. But I'm very curious about it. I mean, especially now that Godzilla vs. Kong subsided, I'm really hyped. That's probably the next thing I'm looking forward to.
From what I've seen, tonally, it really reminds me of the Hasey Gamera films in a way.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's just me.
Yeah, like I would agree with that. I would say it doesn't I would say more like Gamera 1 and 2. Gamera 3 I feel is like more darker than this one, but yeah, I do get what you're saying. It kind of gives me that vibe a little bit.
Yep. Okay, let me see. All right, so let's get to business. Let's talk about the real reason we're here. Metho, you've been engaging in a war with Warner Brothers.
An ancient war,
I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, an ancient war over civilizations. They have an ancient rivalry between Methlokaiju and Warner Brothers. And essentially, Methlo just reports on the leaks that Warner Brothers is too incompetent to give up, and then they try to punish him for it. But he keeps coming back. Could you just start? I don't tell it how you want to tell it, but start a bit from the beginning, I guess, and walk us through how this went down.
Alright, so I've been reporting leaks for a very long time. I've reported on 2014 leaks. Not extensive though. Shin Godzilla leaks, Anime Trilogy leaks, King of the Monsters leaks. I mean, I linked the whole entire plot for that. So for Godzilla vs. Kong, doing leaks as usual, I guess. And then I got a copyright strike on one of my videos. It was like the Mechagodzilla leak design or something, which everybody else has a video on it, but I got a copyright strike. I don't know. It's a little weird that they picked me out of all people. So
it's a vendetta against you.
They wanted
Probably.
to set an example. They looked at the best YouTuber and they're like, if we take him down, we'll quiver.
Nice King of the Monster reference there. So I got a copyright strike there, and then all of a sudden, boom, channel terminated, because I was just refreshing my channel page, and like YouTube wasn't refreshing. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I should just check my phone. It wasn't doing it either. So then I just signed. I just got out of YouTube. I went on some unsigned version, and I went to my channel, searched my channel. I'm like, wow, it's gone. It's literally gone. I went to my history, and it also said channel terminated because of deceptive practices and blah blah blah. And I'm like, what the? I mean, I didn't do anything.
Deceptive practices.
Yeah,
that's very vague.
And so I contacted YouTube. I did an appeal. They rejected the appeal. I'm like, okay. I mean, I didn't really do anything wrong per se. Really, I mean, everybody reports leaks, so. And I mean, not everybody reports leaks, but you know, I'm trying to write an appeal, so. And yeah, they.
Rob, the week after, or around that time, he was scared to talk about anything. He was like, Methlo got taken down. I'm not walking on thin ice.
Yeah, so I went to the YouTube community or YouTube help community or something. I don't know what it's called, something like that. Reddit, I don't know. I just tried to find something, and then. I got some suggestions from a few people, such as Dangerville, for example. They're like, hey, just contact Team YouTube on Twitter. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll try and contact Team YouTube. And I contacted them there, and you know they weren't answering me, so I kind of just like spammed them. And at some point, they're like, okay, we'll review your case. And then I want to say like a week later, that's when boom, it has arrived. And my channel's completely back to normal. I mean, it wasn't really back to normal because one, the community posts were all completely gone. There was none. There were 0 community posts. YouTube also said like, okay, we have your channel back, but you're gonna be a little bit screwed up in the algorithm until like 3 weeks from now, because YouTube still assumes your channel's terminated. So like you're not gonna be seen as or suggested as much or whatever. And I don't really care. At least I have my channel back. I don't care. But yeah, I got my channel back, and so you know that was pretty nice. And yeah, I'm not really sure what deceptive practices I did. I suppose that means leaks. I guess I don't know. A week earlier, I did do a video on a Mechagodzilla leak because I was able to find someone who actually saw a screening of the movie and took a picture of Mechagodzilla in the movie, and I made a video on that, and I released it on like some websites, and maybe because of that or something. I know there was
they thought that you took the picture or something like that.
Maybe
you went in the theater.
Maybe because like there was even an article written about the image, like, oh, brand new leaked Mechagodzilla image, and then the article itself cites me as the person who leaked it. I'm like, oh, ooh. fantastic.
They threw you under the bus.
Like, this is the edit on this guy, so we're fine. Isn't it kind of sad how I remember hearing this with this would happen with people like even like big people like Moist Critical, like 7 million subs, and people on YouTube. Sometimes to get stuff done, instead of like going through the claim system, they just have to tweet at YouTube until YouTube does something about it. It's kind of sad. That's how that works, where there's no communication between YouTube and the people who are making content on there. And obviously you think you have 27,000 subscribers?
Yeah,
I mean, you're not quite that big, but like when you see it, that it's not just you, like people as big as 8 million subs still can't find that direct contact to YouTube. There's something wrong there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. And actually, sorry to interrupt you. But just before you continue, I just want to say that I also got demonetized a week ago, actually. For some reason, out of nowhere, I got demonetized.
Like as a channel?
Yeah, the whole channel got demonetized. I have no idea why. And so I had to go back to Team YouTube on Twitter, and then they fixed it. So, basically, yeah, the communication's not good. Twitter's the only way to really communicate with them effectively.
And Warner Bros is like whispering in their ear, like, "Come on, you gotta take his, okay, if you can't take his channel down, you gotta take his revenue source." YouTube's like slowly trying it, and you're calling them on their crap, and they're like, "Okay," and the next is gonna be like they're gonna. I don't know what they could do. I'm not sure, because like what I've seen of your videos, like, yeah, you post leaks, but like other people post leaks too. It's not like that's a deceptive practice, so it's weird that they would be targeting you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say I sympathize with you in your situation. My buddy and my buddy Matt and I, a couple of years ago, we recorded a Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom review. Originally I was supposed to be, the one reviewing it, but due to COVID, we had I pretty much just said, you know what, I have the script right here, you review it, you just give me credit for the script, and he did. like it was online for a bit, but then Universal took it down like a month even later. Like, I just don't get like the algorithm for like the copyright stuff. It's honestly very counterproductive, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the fact they would put a copyright claim for a review, I mean, that's kind of obscene. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of clips out there of like the movie, like, oh, movie clips of this, but like they target a review of all things. Like that's kind of whack.
Yeah. And like, it's kind of like, why, target us even though there's so many people doing this online already?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many
think-
reviews, so.
I definitely think it is like an automatic system. I don't think it is like in actuality. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think people are actually coming here being like, "Oh, Chef Matt Reviews posted his Jurassic World review. Let's take him down. He's done so now." No, but it is like a, the algorithm's kind of ruthless sometimes. For me, so far, it hasn't been that bad, but I do think on my Kong Skull Island retrospective, I got like 4 strikes at once, or not strikes, 4 claims at once. 4 strikes would that would be a destruction of the channel. No, it was like 4 claims on one video, and it was like for using the soundtrack, for using this clip and that clip, and I just went and like copied and pasted my same reasoning. This is a review. I was using it to prove a point, blah blah blah, and I wrote that on one of them, copied and pasted it, and disputed them, and it was fine. But I've from what I've heard, like obviously like you having your channel taken down and having, that's a bit different subject, because as a review is a lot more straightforward. Like clearly a review is fair use, and so maybe they're getting you on something with the leaks or something. But again, you said they didn't even say it was about the leaks. They just said deceptive practices or something vague that they just wanted to use the.
Yeah, like I assume maybe deceptive practices maybe means leaks. I guess I don't. But yeah, it's very vague. I don't really know what that means. It said deceptive
Did it
practices.
Say who put it on you?
No. It just said you've committed. What was it? YouTube. You did not follow YouTube policies of not posting deceptive content or something. But yeah, it didn't say. I guess it was YouTube themselves or something. I don't know.
Huh. I mean, it could be. So I think I'd have to check, but maybe some jerk went and saw your video and he was like, oh, like because I mean maybe someone just like saw your video in their feed and it said like Mechagodzilla or something, and they didn't know it, and so they went and reported your video because they're like, oh, well, that's a spoiler. It's like,
it can happen.
I'm just.
I mean,
yeah.
I know. Like if that were the case, I would get like a. Like the weird thing is that it was like all of a sudden, like, okay, got a copyright strike, whatever, and then boom, it's gone. Like I don't know. I think it might have been like the higher ups at YouTube somehow or whatever. Not higher ups, but like the people just working at YouTube. Maybe targeted my channel for some reason. Huh?
The administrators?
Yeah, the administrators or something. Because it was just so sudden. Like I just woke up, oh, my YouTube's taken down. Okay. No warning, no nothing. So it was just very strange. And I got an email too. Like, yeah, we apologize, but your channel got terminated because of deceptive practices, or it said, we're sorry that your channel has been terminated, blah 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 blah, and then at the very bottom it says YouTube does not support deceptive practices and spam and other stuff. It said, I don't know.
Man, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but. Go ahead, Tyler.
It feels like the main problem here is a lot of the stuff is just AI, and like the copyright system for YouTube is just abhorrent. There was an incident where Ubisoft, the bots, had Ubisoft copyright claim their own video.
Bruh.
That was on their own channel.
That's stupid. That is really stupid.
It's embarrassing. Downright embarrassing.
Incompetence. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I get. Yeah, maybe it was AI or something. I don't know, but it was definitely.
This AI is taking over our planet by trying to take down the top Godzilla YouTubers, the most powerful men on the planet.
Oh dear God, it's Skynet.
It's like they're thinking, okay, how do we sabotage this timeline? First, Godzilla YouTubers. They're the strings holding this world together.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So here's my solution. I'm gonna post a YouTube video and it's gonna say, "Don't copy strike Methlo," and then they'll be too scared to do anything after that.
Wow,
if that doesn't work, then I don't know.
That's a genius move right there.
Yeah, but I mean, luckily you got a good group of people that seem to support you. Like you said, you were able to talk to Dangerville, and he helped you out.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, on Twitter.
And
yeah.
then you have. Obviously, I'm not. You seem to be in contact with Rob, or so. I mean that you got a good people to make sure you're not going to get completely just thrown off the platform and no one's going to vouch for you.
Yeah, I guess yeah. I don't really talk to Rob too much. I think the main reason is because like I think he usually uses Facebook. I don't really have Facebook. And he has a Discord. I am in his Discord, but I'm not really that active on Discord. But I don't really talk to Rob much. But like, whenever I always see his stream sometimes actually, and I always say like, "Hey Rob," and he always says, "Hey back." But yeah, other than Rob, who else? Dangerville. I mean, there's pretty much nearly every YouTuber that's like bigger, I guess I kind of talk to. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad I have those people to talk to, and all my supporters, of course.
Yeah, that's good. I think one thing I've noticed with Rob is it's hard. Now he was streaming a lot, but I think it's harder for him to do collabs or work with other people because like he has a family. He has like 2 kids and all that stuff. So like he seems to be a little bit more like he obviously puts that first is what I've noticed. So because one thing I was wondering is he's someone I would definitely want to have down the line on here, but I'm honestly wondering if his availability would even be there because of his prior engagements. But he's someone I believe I was following him since almost 2013, since like the end of like the first Godzilla teaser trailer dropped.
Me too. Yeah. Like I remember the eight-legged creature, Vishnu Talagan. I still remember that. I still remember his old channel.
Yeah.
E.T. I think it's just called E.T. Entertainment Talk. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna make a brand new video, brand new channel." And I still remember his very first profile pic was like his face with like the headphones or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember all of that. I mean, those were good times. Well, are they good times? On YouTube, they are. Yeah. I remember he had the. I forgot what he called it, but it was like the BS show or whatever, and it would have the the face palm. Yeah, little. Yeah. I actually told him in one time. I do remember commenting, in one of those series. Like that music is actually from a Mexican TV show, and like I have a Mexican family. We always used to watch that TV show, so I was like, it was really funny that he implemented that. I'm like, oh, do you watch that show or something? I'm like, no, I never even heard of the show or anything. But now what's the series? I forget. ETN. I don't know. I need to see some of that. Oh, he has a playlist. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I don't remember how I discovered him. I remember just seeing one video up there, but apparently he was saying that the reason he blew up was because he posted he was one of the first people to post the leak trailer, like the Comic-Con trailer. And that got him quite a bit of views, and then that's where his channel started building up from. I can't verify that. I feel like I heard him say that, but take that with a grain of salt.
Okay. Because I do remember him doing a video.
Vishnu.
Huh? Oh, Vishnu.
Like I said, I forgot about that. Was a weird. Was that in the teaser or the Comic-Con trailer?
Yeah, that was in the Comic-Con. That was Taligan. Like, there's a lot of different names for that. Like the remember that eight-legged thing in the Comic-Con?
I think it was just a placeholder for
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely just a placeholder.
I think it was supposed to signify that Godzilla was going to fight another monster in this reboot.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Like, it wasn't supposed to be in the movie. I wish some of that stuff was, because like I love the destruction in that and the tone. It was like so serious. I'm like, oh my goodness, this movie's gonna be like 1954. It's gonna be so dark. And the movie comes out and it's like, wow, okay, I guess he's a savior and stuff. Which I like savior Godzilla, but I like the more dark Godzillas.
Same. But all his bodies on by the train, it's so grim.
Mm-hmm. So fun fact.
Yeah.
I found out that in Godzilla King of the Monsters, on one of the TV screens, that footage is there of the train.
Yeah, with Queen Muto there, the Queen Muto. She's just kind of destroying stuff. I remember I first thought, I was like, oh wow, they kind of like, I didn't know whether to really like that, because like, oh, the footage is technically canon now, or to be like, oh, I was kind of lazy. I don't know, but it's kind of cool either way.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I am a big. I like the villain Godzilla. I do, or at least have the force of nature to darker Godzilla, and obviously, Godzilla versus Kong isn't necessarily dark in tone, but I do. I was really happy to see him play that villain role again.
Yeah, like I liked seeing the City of Destruction and him attacking the military. Like, that was really cool. I always liked. I mean, the first Godzilla movies I've ever seen were always him attacking the military or having a more bad side to him. So it was nice seeing that.
In a way, it was kind of like a return to form.
Yeah, like it goes full circle. It goes full circle.
Right. Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong was kind of like a Heisei Godzilla in a way. Like, he uses atomic breath a lot, and he had that. He was that middle ground where he was the villain in part of it, and then he was the hero in the other part of it. Like, I guess what would you call that, an anti-hero? I don't know, but he gave me Heisei vibes in those ways. Obviously, until he started crawling, that was certainly not something I would expect the Heisei Godzilla to do. But, by the way, spoiler alert. I'm leaving this open. We're not gonna just kind of assume that the podcast from this point on is gonna have Godzilla vs. Kong spoilers. I'll try to bring it up before I say anything about it, but I just want to put that out there because I'm not trying to filter myself, since anyone who's on here is gonna have already seen the film. So that's just for future reference for not just this podcast, but every episode of the podcast onward. Either way, yeah, that that was a return to form. That's a good way to put it. It was. What did you end up giving the film? Was it like an 8.5? Is what you said?
Yes, I give it an 8.5. It's a very fun movie. I mean, it is not meant to be some philosophical movie. It's meant to be like, oh, two giant monsters fighting. There's some humans just kind of there, just making the two fight, and that's it. And it does it does that extremely well. But I feel like there's some elements that just it could have been better. That could have been more fleshed out. Like Ren Sarazawa's character, absolute crime. What they did there.
The line. So when I first saw someone post a picture of Ren Sarazawa looking out, and they had edited the lines from the book over it like a comic, And I didn't know that those lines were actually from the book. I thought that was just someone's like headcanon. Because the thing is, like, everyone could kind of like guess what Ren's motivations were, but we never got it. And so that was what's kind of sad. But then I found out, I watched your video and realized that you were reading those lines and they were actually from the book. And I'm like, what does he say? Something, he says like something to the effect of, they still don't realize they can't hurt you with brother or something like that.
Yeah, he calls Godzilla brother, and then he goes on like, my father gave his life trying to protect you, so that's why I'm willing to give mine to destroy you, or something like that.
Yeah.
Why could that not have been in the movie? That's so badass.
I don't know. I mean, I guess because they heard about.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's like they could at least fit in 5 more minutes for Ren's characterization.
For sure.
Like I would have.
If they were to add anything, it would be Ren's character for me.
Yeah, like I would have preferred if like they also gave Skarsgård some motivation. Like I would have preferred if they had to somehow cut something else to put Ren's backstory. I would have just like cut out Skarsgård's motivation and then just put in Ren's or something, because like Ren's much more interesting, honestly, in my opinion, and he's a connective tissue to the other movies too. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown is there, but like I don't really care about her or whatever. So yeah, just Ren's more interesting, and I hope he survives, which I'm pretty sure he survives. I mean, that's my opinion of what I read. But oh well.
Oh yeah, because that was the. I saw your video on it. I'm just gonna check real quick. Will, Tyler, do y'all care if there's, because it's something that's not really mentioned in the movie? Do y'all care about spoilers for the novelization?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
I don't know the details of it, but I was looking at his channel earlier, and I know what video you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So that was really interesting. That like, now I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like if like King Ghidorah's walking around in Ren Serizawa's body, like it's like I'm trying to think of what that thinks, but just imagine if the next movie is Kevin in Serizawa's body, just like sniffing stuff and just walking around. He can't talk.
He just hisses.
Yeah,
if they go that route, they could throw it back to our Raids Again episode where I was joking about how the giant Serizawa from Godzilla Generations was going to show up. Maybe they'll go that route.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird concept.
Burning question. If I'm not wrong, I heard one of y'all mention that there was deleted scenes of Admiral Stenz getting killed in King of the Monsters.
Correct.
Do you think that means he's for sure dead? Because they didn't put it in the movie, but Admiral Stenz is certainly my favorite background character in any of these films. He's not really a character, but the actor himself, I just love him and his lines, and I want him to be back in some form. But I'm wondering if we're never going to see him again.
I'm not sure if he died in the King of the Monsters novelization. I've not read that one yet. I don't know why.
He does.
I've read all the other ones, but not that one yet.
He does.
No.
Yeah, I think he does die, if I recall.
Okay. Well, if Ren Serizawa could be alive, then maybe they could bring him back. I don't know.
Still,
the future of several characters is pretty uncertain, considering there's a lot of people who just don't show up at all in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah.
Like, not a single character from 2014 or from Skull Island shows up in that movie. And then we get, like, 2 characters from King of the Monsters, and that's about it.
So, okay, here's my pitch. Just imagine if the next movie opens up, and you have a discussion, it's kind of off-screen, and then you pan up, and it's Bryan Cranston and Admiral Stenz, David Strathairn, just standing there. You're like, wait, what's going on here? Ken Watanabe, they're all the dead characters, and then we go into like a Godzilla versus King Ghidorah where they're like, or like Godzilla Final Wars where they're like replacement aliens or something like that. So we can bring those actors back somehow, and then have the whole alien plot line. They can be apes or whatever, like Mechagodzilla.
On the topic of Rin, I really think that they should have kept him alive. Because from what I've read, he does pass on in the novel, but it would have been so interesting to have a reoccurring human antagonist in the films. The closest thing I believe we had to a human antagonist was Cameron Winters in the 1998 animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hope Alan Jonah
Walt
returns.
Simmons is still alive. Right now, Walt Simmons, he survived.
He survived.
He's just like he's just wheelchair bound.
No, just imagine like somehow when Mechagodzilla crushed it, the hand has gaps in between the claws, like it can't just close like a fist. So he just managed to wedge himself in there and just slipped out.
Bruh. He lands on his feet or something.
Hey, I'm okay.
That should have been the credit scene. Should have been like Ron Perlman at the end of Pacific Rim when he cuts himself out of the baby kaiju.
Where is my goddamn shoe?
That went perfect.
It would have been beautiful.
I'm gonna miss the way he says Godzilla.
Oh yeah, he's like
I liked that actor. He's another actor like where there's not really a character behind it per se, besides the stock like villain. But like him and David Strathairn are both like they just deliver their lines so well that you like them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
They have a charm.
Okay,
to them.
so here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
What's y'all's favorite human character in the MonsterVerse? There's a silence.
I can tell you who it's not.
No, let's.
Bryan Cranston, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. All the characters I like are dead.
Yeah.
That's the MonsterVerse problem.
Yeah, exactly. Like Bryan Cranston, I think Bryan Cranston so far has been the best character.
Okay,
What?
I'm gonna rework this. Y'all guys are gonna hate me on this. We're gonna make the impossible question. Out of the characters who are alive,
Oh goodness
in the
gracious!
present day,
I think I forgot her name, but she was the Monarch agent. She's one of the twins.
Oh, Chin.
Chin,
Yeah.
But if you're asking me who my favorite deceased character is, it would have to be Bill Rhonda from Skull Island. John.
I would have to agree. That's what I was going to say.
is that John Goodman?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's John Goodman.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. That's another character for me that I was like, I don't think he's really that good of a character. I think it's just John Goodman's that good of an actor. Like, his character motivation was basically the same as Monarch's. Let's find the monsters. But I didn't really get much more than that. Again, I haven't read the novelization, so like I'm going off of movies purely, so I don't know what else there could be behind that.
I thought he was kind of a playoff of
Carl Denham.
Joe's character, Bryan Cranston's character from the first movie. They were both kind of the, Bryan Cranston was the crazy crackpot guy, and then John Goodman was the, I'm up there with, the people searching for aliens here in the government. I'm not really thought highly of.
Wasn't his part of his backstory that, if I recall, part of his backstory that he survived a kaiju attack?
Yeah, he said he was the lone survivor of a certain attack, but we're not entirely certain which Titan did that. I don't recall them going into that in the novel, but I think we can pretty much rule out Godzilla because we've never really seen him intentionally attack humans until Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, like originally, Var Roberts said he was gonna have him say, "Oh, Godzilla attacked USS Lawton" or something like that it was called. But he's like, no, this is a Kong movie, so I don't want to distract the audience into thinking about Godzilla, so I'm gonna take that out. So,
not until the very end at the credit scene.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They still do leave like the 1954 like testing and stuff, and I remember when I first watched Kong Skull Island, that was cool just to see that, because like I was sitting with people who have no idea what's going on, and I'm like, 1954 Godzilla. Do you see? Like, what are you talking? They're like, what are you talking about? This is a King Kong movie, because they don't even know that they're the MonsterVerse or anything. Like most people, I will say the MonsterVerse, there's something about the marketing that they didn't really sell super well, I think, because a lot of people didn't know that these films were connected until casuals anyway. Casual.
I think they pretty much spelled it out really well in the Kong Skull Island marketing, because they were like, from the studio that brought you Godzilla, Kong. Like, I feel like that should have been enough, but general moviegoers aren't very intelligent.
Right.
Yeah.
They're subpar humans compared to us Godzilla fans.
So,
Subpar you. Inferior.
all right. I have a.
So did we all list our favorite characters?
Did Methanol list his?
Bryan Cranston.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I guess living, I would say Houston Brooks probably.
Oh, living.
Might be my favorite.
Who is Houston? Is that the name of the character?
I'm not sure what the actor's name, because he has two different actors in the MonsterVerse, but he was John Goodman's assistant in Skull Island, and then he was there when Mothra hatched in King of the Monsters.
Oh, him.
Yes, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, the same actor that played Cyborg's dad in Justice League.
Yeah, him.
Joe Morton.
He's actually a big part of Kingdom Kong so far, actually. So.
Oh, okay, cool. And I would have to agree. I think he's probably my favorite character. Because I mean, he basically connects nearly. Well, I think he was casted for GVK, but then he was.
He definitely should have been in it.
Yeah.
There should have at least been one Kong-related actor, with the exception of Kyle Chandler. Wrong King Kong there, but
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say Kyle Chandler, his character, Mark Russell, he's probably my favorite, but that would be that. I don't know why. For some reason, that seemed like a little too easy, a little too obvious. So I'm gonna go with the controversial decision here. I'm gonna blindside y'all. My favorite character is Ford Brody from
Fair enough.
2014.
Hopefully he's dead.
You know, okay. What if he's died? King of the Monsters or something? He just died of like some like off-screen. He died of COVID.
No, he died of a giant sea louse. Just bring that thing back, Kaiju.
yeah, at least like in sometimes the annoying characters at least, or the boring, or the characters you don't like sometimes get that payoff, like that one chick who just was screaming "monkey, monkey, monkey" in Godzilla vs. Kong the whole time, and finally she gets crushed by Kong, and I was like, yes, die.
Yeah.
I was like, I get it, the "is that a monkey" was really funny in Skull Island. We don't need to repeat that joke 40 times.
Kong just had enough with him, her, are you assuming my species?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So honestly, that was the only thing. It was like I felt like even her decision making there was dumb for even her character, because like they're driving through and like, okay, just go around go around Kong. They would have been.
You've got
fine.
like this hyper advanced vehicle.
They just did not shoot Kong in the back, they would have survived.
They could just run over him or something. Yeah, that was so dumb.
Go, shoot the monkey, and then they go around, and like as soon as like it stopped, I was like, okay, that's cool. I see.
Well, to be fair, she is her father's daughter, and
Runs in family.
he literally had no security at the Apex facility whatsoever.
That's shit.
A drunk guy and 2 children were able to infiltrate their facility.
Walt Simmons is a tough man, okay? He knew that if anyone came in there, he'd be able to throw hands. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to justify him. He does give me like Godfather, like mafia boss style. Like,
he reminds me
vibes.
of Justin Hammer from the Iron Man films.
Oh, that's a good comparison, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, when Team Godzilla was like in the Mecha G thing, like Ren technically saw them, right? Because like he's a Mecha G when he got the Skull Crawler. So like Kearney just told Walter like, oh, there's like 3 kids here, or 3 people here.
They probably thought, no big deal.
Like, nah, I just won't tell Simmons there's some infiltrators in here. Weird.
Speaking of, I love Tyree Henry. obviously he's a comic relief character, but that's another character that like is really funny, and he does have they at least tried with his backstory, so that puts him above most MonsterVerse characters.
Right.
Is that Bernie?
Yeah, it's Bernie.
Bernie.
I also like
him.
John C. Reilly too. I forgot to mention, but he's probably dead, so I guess he's dead. Shit.
No, his
But
spirit
yeah.
lives on, and he'll stab you in the middle of the night.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
But I love his line. It got probably. I mean, he had a lot of funny lines, but one of my favorites is right after Walt Simmons dies. He's like, "That's no fair. I wanted to hear the rest of that speech," which it's like the most predictable, plain speech. It sounds cool because of the actor Walt Simmons, but if you think about it, it's the most basic villain speech. But he was hanging on to every word. Like he was so excited to hear that.
Right. Okay, I have a fun question. Outside of the main, Toho and Kong, what do you think of the other Titans?
Like the new creations?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
Behemoth, Amalek, Tiamat.
Yeah. I like the Mutos. The Mutos are cool. I remember there was back in the 2014 days, there was a lot of like quote unquote leaks, and some of them looked like a centipede, and everyone looked like a little spider thingy with a weird head. And I was very pleasantly surprised with the final product. I think it looked really cool. I think maybe they can even if they want to put Gigan somehow, make a realistic version, which at this point they're not gonna do that because it's very sci-fi. But
Right.
if they wanted to make a realistic
do
version of Gigan, they can just make Muto. It has just have some Muto components and just put some cybernetic parts, and there you have Gigan.
Right.
But yeah, I like Muto. Muto looks cool. Methuselah, I like. Behemoth, I like. Amaluk, I'm not a fan. I think it looks more like a Pacific Rim kaiju than a MonsterVerse Titan. What other one is there? Tiamat, I like that one. Looks like Titanosaurus, Manda. I don't know. I like that. I like how it looks like. So far, legendary designs are really good, in my opinion. For even the Toho kaijus, they look great.
Right. And I feel like there's a lot of potential that can be, tapped into with these new monsters. From what I've seen so far, they're mostly, outside of the Mutos and the Skullcrawlers, they're being relegated to background props. But when you think about these monsters are pretty much around the same ballpark of strength as Godzilla, you kind of want to see them at their, full potential,
Yeah, and I'm glad that in Dominion, there's a part where Godzilla and Behemoth team up, and I really want to see that. I don't have the comics or anything like that, but
Why can't we
I really
see
wanna
that
see
on film though?
Yeah.
It's in the comic, but
Yeah.
now if they do a destroy all monsters, people are kind of thinking they might.
Mm-hmm.
That would be. I feel like we would get some opportunity for that.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
would love
imagine,
to see that.
if they announce the next MonsterVerse movie is just Behemoth. He's the main
Behemoth.
monster. I would be. I know. I doubt it would sell.
Yeah, no
I don't
flop.
know. I mean, it would probably flop. Give it half the budget and look for a 300 mil price tag. Give it a 75 mil budget and just
That's
short
true. Yeah.
90-minute movie.
They could pull a Rampage, because I think Rampage was 120 million, which is not comparable to the MonsterVerse ones. And that movie made around 400 million, which is actually pretty good for its budgeted. Yeah.
Right.
It made money. So they could do something like that for Behemoth, or even Rodan, like a Rodan solo movie, or Mothra solo movie.
I think a Rodan movie has potential. I think Rodan or Mothra movie has potential. The problem is they have to sell it, and I think part of it is going to be cutting that budget back. We can't be spending 200 mil on these guys, but you got to find a way to cut. Now, what Godzilla vs. Kong did that was genius that I didn't realize until recently is if you notice the budget's less than the last few films, but because they basically reused Godzilla's assets, and it still looked freaking good. So I'm not going to complain if it looks that good and they're able to put that much effort in. Because imagine they would have had to spend quite a bit more just to redesign some of the monsters and stuff like that. If they can reuse monster designs and slightly touch them and save money for that, I think they could make a let's say Rodan or a Mothra film have 100 mil budget have it be a shorter film and test the waters with something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would probably lean towards Mothra because Mothra is a bit of a bigger name, but you could probably have both Mothra and Rodan in it.
Yeah, and they also saved with the marketing too. Like, it was a very short marketing campaign, and there was no second trailer, which actually kind of surprised me. There was one trailer, and then some TV spots littered around, and like a little teaser thing. Or actually, I think it was like 2 social media teasers or something. That's literally it. So they saved in the marketing too. And no, the Titans were available. I think Adam Wingard said because that cost money, so that's why they didn't do it. Let's see what else. The actors in the movie, they weren't like super mega A-listers, so they didn't really have to spend too much money on that either. So yeah, I think they did well in terms of, and so far it's a success, so it definitely paid off. So
I just want them to find a way to, like, obviously Godzilla and Kong are our main players here, but I think the MonsterVerse what would be impressive is if they could sell a monster that's not Godzilla or Kong and get it to even if it rates profit, if that's what you're looking for. Obviously you would want it to be a bigger hit than that, but like I said, if you wind back the budget a little bit, like, they could experiment with something like that, which, I think the most obvious answer, or most obvious way to go, I guess they could do the most obvious money-wise would be using Mothra or Ghidorah in the title somehow. But I don't know. It's a hard thing to pull off, because Godzilla and Kong are guaranteed to get a certain amount of people. Those are guaranteed numbers. If you throw Mothra out there, it could do very well, and all the people who are still on a high, like all the general audience who saw Godzilla vs. Kong and liked it, you might get a good portion of there. But maybe they won't. Maybe they won't even go out. Maybe they weren't paying attention. They don't even realize Mothra is part of this universe, or they don't care, and then Mothra flops, and it's like, okay, well. So it's a high risk, high reward type of thing, I think.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like
They just got to release Rodan, Mothra, Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack 2.
yeah, it would be very nice if they did Varan, Anguirus, and what was it? Varan, Anguirus, Baragon. Which was
Barugon?
Yeah.
Barugon?
Barugon. Wait, was Barugon?
All my homies hate Barugon.
Wait. Barugon was 66 and Baragon was 65, right? Okay.
Yes. Baragon is the original.
Okay.
Here, if the MonsterVerse Goya wants to sell, I think the pivotal thing they've been missing is Baragon. We would be over the billion mark, past Avengers Endgame or whatever. Baragon was in one of these movies. Clearly.
Have you seen that edit of remember that lizard from GVK?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an edit of him but as Baragon. I don't know if you've seen it.
I'm looking it up right now.
I'm like, wow, that's a really good edit. It kind of looks like it actually looks like Baragon. I mean, I could probably try.
So did anybody else see that really dumb comic book article it was like, yeah, the crabs in the Hollow Earth are setting up Destroyer's appearance in the MonsterVerse, and also the lizard that eats the crabs is Minya.
Bruh. Yeah, I saw the Minya one.
Man, that's a good edit.
Yeah, it is.
Can you wait? Did y'all send it in? Because I can't find it.
Yeah, he put it in the Discord.
Oh, that's why was it like they could? It would have been so easy for them to just add the ears and then just make that Baragon. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they had, your Anguirus, but not really for a brief glimpse in King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
This would have been a perfect opportunity.
Baragon's been reduced to a scavenger. How sad.
The only downside to CGI Baragon will be not getting to hear the recording edits to where the actress is roaring in the costume.
We won't. They need to, if they get Baragon, because they actually do have like this, it's not suit actors, but they have the motion capture people. They need to track down Ryota and have her reprise her role as Baragon.
Yes.
Yeah, let's hear some of that behind the scenes.
Imagine how it. I mean, I guess it would. Yeah, imagine how more ridiculous it would be without the suit on. Yeah, but clearly the MonsterVerse is losing money every movie that Baragon doesn't appear.
You're saying Baragon, I'm saying Giant Condor and Minya.
Yes.
Bring him in and boom.
Ladies,
$5 billion.
ladies, please. It's all about the Skeleturtle.
Skeleturtle, yes. Skeleturtle.
How about Giant Claw versus Giant Condor, the ultimate versus match
I mean,
that we've been waiting for?
I mean, it's the Giant Claw. It's obvious. It's gonna be a squash match.
Yeah, Giant Claw would win.
Giant Claw versus Rodan, on the other hand.
Still the Giant Claw. Pretty clean sweep.
At least it'd be
The
more
Giant
exciting.
Claw would be second to no one in this MonsterVerse except maybe Mechagodzilla, and it would be like a standstill. Oh. Actually,
Giant Claw
that's
versus
a fun
Burning
little
Godzilla.
topic. Yeah, that's a fun little topic now that I think about it. We're gonna reduce ourselves back to 6th grade, and we're gonna talk some versus battles. Because
Nice.
there's a few things in this MonsterVerse that I'm kind of curious how y'all think it stack up. Clearly, the top obvious question: Mechagodzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Okay, so this Mechagodzilla is the one that's like a berserk, right? Not the piloted one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's King Ghidorah versus King Ghidorah, essentially.
I don't know, cause like the Godzilla, like Godzilla when he fights Ghidorah in Antarctica, Godzilla's like completely fresh. He's like, okay, yeah, let's ready to battle. In GVK though, he was worn out because of the Hollow Earth hole he made, and then fighting Kong. And also Winger also said, yeah, he got a little bit more. He's more worn out. That's why he lost that. That's why he lost the beam battle. Yeah, he confirmed that. That's why he lost the beam battle against Mecha G. Like he said, oh, if he hadn't been worn out, then it's possible, he wouldn't have lost the beam battle. Like whenever they shot their beams together.
Do you think that's possible that base Godzilla and now I would argue that Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong is a bit stronger than he was in Godzilla King of the Monsters. But would you say that it's possible that if that's true, I guess Godzilla might have a chance at beating Mechagodzilla one-on-one if he's fresh?
Yeah, I still think Mecha G would have beat him, but
I agree.
But I think he would have definitely had a better chance.
I don't know, man. Until when that lightning strike hits and he gets those magnetic powers, it's all over.
For me,
Yeah.
sorry.
You go ahead.
For me, I think Ghidorah will narrowly take this one because from what we've seen, Ghidorah's been able to tank a lot of hits from Godzilla. Even when Godzilla was amped up, he took Atomic Blast point blank and he showed no visible damage. Mechagodzilla, on the other hand, he seemed rather frail, and I think that if Ghidorah could get a get a squeeze on him or get a good strike with his gravity beams, it could disarm him, remove an arm or part of his tail, which could be a big decisive factor in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I would say Mechagodzilla is a glass cannon. Like for example, Kong, like the charged up axe literally cut off his limbs. Whenever Kong did that to Godzilla, I mean Godzilla did have a little injury on top, but that's literally it. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And Ghidorah has around the same durability. So, yeah, I would say Ghidorah's more durable. But
I didn't even think about that. I forgot that Kong actually hit Godzilla with the axe. Because honestly, before you brought up that point, I'm going to be honest, I was going to be like, Mechagodzilla sweeps this. Like, it's not even close. But now that you bring that up, it kind of changes it. I'm going to be honest, I'm still leaning towards Mechagodzilla here. Just because even if Godzilla was a little worn down, Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah was beating Godzilla in Godzilla King of the Monsters, but it was like a close battle the entire time. Like, it was always within possibility that Godzilla could get the upper hand. But in Godzilla, Godzilla fighting Mechagodzilla, it was like a bully on the playground, like beating up like a sixth grader beating up like a first grader. Like, there was no Godzilla didn't get like a hit in. Like, the first thing he does is go and try to tackle him like he always does nothing. Then Mechagodzilla just grabs him by the back of the neck and just starts throwing him everywhere. And especially in the MonsterVerse, we haven't seen Godzilla be bullied near that bad. Now, again, it is arguable that he was weakened down, but I was thinking, I mean, who knows? It's kind of a, it's a silly debate, but I do think that with the points brought up about durability, I do think it would be closer. But what I would also say is that he was able to be defeated by the charged up axe, but I would say that that's a different type of durability. Like, I think that from what he's shown, I think like blunt force and the gravity beams, I feel like would have less of an effect than the axe would. But that's just my opinion.
It's not really just blunt force. It's like fighting a python, but the pythons are arms. So imagine the force it would have like to pull off the arm.
I can't see King Ghidorah doing that to him though. I feel like he would just grab King Ghidorah's neck with one of his hands, and like he has just as much strength as King Ghidorah.
True.
From what I could see, so I can't. Oh, what I'd say is, I feel like he'd have a lot easier chance with like his weapons that he has to break out of King Ghidorah's grasp if King Ghidorah tries to wrap him up like he did Godzilla, and also he clearly would survive the fall.
Right, because of the boosters he has.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, that was the number one thing that I think put him over Godzilla beyond the durability and strength, was that he could basically, like, he was basically doing like I don't know if anyone will catch this reference, but like, he was basically like what's his name? Hit from Dragon Ball Super, like he's skipping in time a few seconds.
Yeah.
When you're like working with how slow giant monsters are, he's basically doing that in their time field. Like he would go to hit him and then like skip over like around him, like just like like double speed with the little boosters. And Godzilla, Godzilla can't react to that. He's like, what's going on? And then he would go around him, grab his tail, and start throwing him. I think that, again, who knows? I mean, it's kind of irrelevant. And honestly, here's I'm gonna rest my case on this. Mechagodzilla is technically the brain of King Ghidorah, so maybe he would know how to fight himself.
Then again, it's Kevin, so
yeah, that's.
I think I'd be more inclined to give that battle to Ghidorah, maybe, because I mean, there's the entire possibility Ghidorah hits Mechagodzilla with one gravity beam, and boom, his systems are toast. He just falls over dead. I don't think that would actually happen, but I mean, that could be a possibility. But in order to defeat Ghidorah, Godzilla had to completely obliterate him, and he could regenerate pretty fast from what we saw in the film. I mean, he got Kevin's head back in just a matter of minutes.
Though, to be fair...
And it took the combined might of the military, Mothra, and Godzilla to beat Ghidorah, whereas for Mechagodzilla, it took Godzilla Kong and Josh with some alcohol.
Well, to be fair with to be fair with Ghidorah, according to the novelization, he can only regenerate when there's a source of radiation nearby.
Yeah, I think maybe Ghidorah, like, all he needs to do is just bite onto Mecha G. Mecha G has the Hollow Earth energy, so like he could just absorb the Hollow Earth energy, pure raw Hollow Earth energy, and then Ghidorah can just like go just Super Saiyan and just absolutely obliterate Mechagodzilla, I think. But Mechagodzilla can easily just take Ghidorah off of him, so I don't know. I think it's a little hard, but I would say probably King Ghidorah wins, if I'm being honest.
So everybody gangsta until King Ghidorah goes back his other 5 heads. Zerochi. think the MonsterVerse hasn't hinted towards anything like that, right? That was just that was only in a GMK that
Right.
King Ghidorah.
There is an Orochi in the MonsterVerse, but not, as far as we know, not related to Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Have you seen like the fan art for Orochi? It depicts it as a giant worm, and all the 8 heads are just tentacles coming out the mouth.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
I don't know. I like Orochi as the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's
Yeah, we've not really seen like a traditional dragon just beefed up really in any of the kaiju media. They've always had to have the quirk of no legs or 3 heads or 2 tails or 4 legs or something special like that.
Yeah,
already
that's-
talking about like
What if they did like King, like it was like for like a Destroy All Monsters legendary film, and they have like the idea that they were going with that one of the original ideas they had for the Heisei series, where there was going to be a Super King Ghidorah, basically like the head King Ghidorah. Do y'all know about this?
yeah,
It was like
Yeah, it was going to be a real alien one coming after the defeat of the artificial one.
yeah.
So imagine if they do like an 8-headed like Orochi King
Whoa.
Ghidorah, and that's what they all the monsters have to team up in and destroy all monsters.
Kaiser Ghidorah?
I mean,
You know,
that's
just-
possible. Because
Yeah.
I think in the novelization it said Ghidorah was like a... What was it? Like a sip? No. What did it say in the novelization? Ghidorah was like a younger version or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Did it say that?
Something like that, yeah. I
Oh
think so.
God.
Full disclosure, I have not read any of the novelizations until I started reading Godzilla vs. Kong today. But
The
That's another
MonsterVerse
thing.
sure does like having young monsters.
Godzilla's the old man just beating up on all the other
Yeah.
monsters.
Kong's young, Mothra literally hatches, cocoons, metamorphosizes, and dies in a span of like a couple of hours.
In the MonsterVerse, Godzilla's pretty much the Clint Eastwood kaiju.
Yeah.
Like he sees King Kong like in the ocean. Get off my lawn.
Just wait until Kong gains his electric powers when he becomes an adult. He's like What if he's like teenager right now, and then like he goes like 2 more arms, has electric powers. That's
More
what their
arms.
species actually goes into. It's like, what is it, like Goro from like Mortal Kombat, like 4 arms?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just has 4 axes at the same time.
Whoa.
Dude, that would. I mean, at that point, that's where you like start believing. Like, you add that in electric powers, and you're like, okay, maybe he can beat Godzilla.
Maybe.
Because at the point,
Well, they just keep
honestly,
exploring the Hollow Earth, and they find a Monster Hunter style armor set for Kong that's made out of a dead Godzilla.
that would be cool. Yeah, but let's piss off some Kong fans real quick. Godzilla was not threatened at all in the Kong fight in Godzilla vs. Kong. It was kind of strange. It was actually like more one-sided than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Does it? Anyone disagree with that, or?
Oh no.
'Cause I
No,
feel-
I totally agree. The fact that they even say that, it's so dumb. They do, he comes down with the charged axe, smacks Godzilla. Godzilla falls over for like a minute or 2, and they're like, Kong wins round 2. I was like, are you kidding me? Godzilla basically tripped, and you're giving it to him?
Yeah.
And then, I've said this a lot on Facebook so far, but literally, and I know I've talked to you guys a little bit on Messenger, but Kong needed help in every battle in this film. He was either at the mercy of whoever he was fighting, or the humans had to help him.
Yeah, even for Warbat, like, really. Wow.
Yeah.
Come on, man! Not Warbat. You gotta beat Warbat on your own.
Like he was gonna be drowned, and they had to save him there.
Listen, here's
Warbat was suffocating him. They had to save him there.
Right.
Godzilla spares him and leaves him for dead. He's dying. Humans revive him, and then MVP Josh comes in, sacrifices his what could be his only chance to ever have a grown-up drink to try and stop Mechagodzilla.
Listen, Josh has more wins in this movie than Kong.
Did any of you guys see the Honest trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong?
I haven't watched Honest trailers in
Yeah.
a long time.
they have one line that just roasts Kong so bad.
Oh, where he's
They
on his
say
back?
that Kong, yeah, he's on his back in this movie more than Riley Reid is.
Oh my gosh. So in summary, with the whole this fight is if I ever had to get in like an MMA fight, I would definitely not want Alexander Skarsgård judging, because you'd whoop on the guy, like almost knock him out, and then like you would trip over the round with it, and he'd be like, I mean, to be fair, Kong, that was a really good hit by Kong. If we want to give it to him, that's like Kong won that small exchange in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I was pretty impressed with how well Kong performed, especially when right after the explosion, Godzilla's kind of crawling around looking for him, and he throws the thing to distract him. I was like, okay, I'll give that to Kong. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was smart.
Yeah, it reminded me of like playing like not like a complicated stealth game, but like playing like a stealth mission in like a Spider-Man game or something. Like you shoot a web over there, so they go over there, and Godzilla falls to the train of thought, and you jump on him. But like here's the thing: even when Kong it was the choreography was kind of genius. Kong came off as a smart, intelligent, like using strategy. Godzilla kind of came off as like a little bit playful until Kong hit him with the axe, and he got pissed, and he's like, okay, we're finishing this now. And so he goes into clawing mode, looking for him. But Kong's like, okay. Notice when Kong hits him and gets him on the ground, Kong's first reaction is not to ground and pound and finish this fight. His first reaction is, okay, now I need to get some leverage, get a high point.
Yeah,
because like he knows that like he knows it was not over there. But even when he gets the better of Godzilla, like he gets the fully blindsides him, gets exactly what he wants.
It's over, Godzilla. I have the high ground.
So I was rewatching it. The third time I went to the movies, I went and watched it. I watched it by myself, and during that fight, and this is kind of an idea for a video I have, because I actually have a little bit of experience with the MMA, but I wrestled in high school, and I was just like looking into like some of the actual, as weird as it sounds, there are monsters, so a lot of it is just like animal techniques, but some of them were like actual like it seemed like they had actual like a little bit of martial arts in there, as weird as that sounds. But I was kind of breaking it down in my head, because I have an idea. I might break it down in a video and kind of say, okay, here's what happens here, and here's why this does that. Because it honestly, it's a lot more realistic than I thought it would be. But when Kong jumps on him, and starts pounding him from the head. Godzilla purposely, like he's a lot smarter and more self-aware than you think. He purposely backs himself into a building, putting his spikes into Kong, which hurts Kong, because obviously he has the plates on his back, so that's gonna stab into him a little bit. It hurts Kong enough. It doesn't really stab him, but it stops him enough, and that's where Godzilla grabs his arm. And this is actually something in wrestling. When someone's high on your back, like let's say they take you down and they're on your back, they're trying to pin you. But like if they're too high on you, you can grab their arm and like their own leverage will like throw them over, if that makes sense. And that's exactly kind of what Godzilla did. Like he did like a full like judo hip throw. You hear the pop, Kong's arm goes out of socket. And then at that point, he spins him around and he just starts chasing him down. And like, I think that I could tell as soon as you heard that pop and Kong grabbed his arm, I knew the fight was over there. I was like, okay, now I should full disclaimer. I got spoiled on YouTube because I opened YouTube and I saw a thumbnail that said Godzilla defeat Kong. Stepping on him.
Wow.
But I didn't fully believe it. Like I was wondering, okay, maybe he wins one fight out of the fights or something. But when I saw Kong grab his arm, or like you hear the pop or whatever, I was like, okay, there you go, the fight's over right there. Either way, good. Honestly, really great choreography. Like if you want to say like it's fun monster action, but like it actually like it's kind. I guess I would relate it to like pro wrestling. Your story doesn't always need to be what the words and the characters say. I think there's a lot more story going on in the monster fights than there is going on in most of the film. And I think the story told through the fights, obviously it's you know, in some ways it's a pretty generic underdog story, but there's a lot more going on in the actual fights that, if that makes sense, like there's a lot more going on there than they would meet the eye if you actually look into it. And yeah, I'm having trouble articulating my point, but it very good. Monkey fight lizard, good movie. That's my summary.
Yeah. Do you think Kong submitted to Godzilla?
I do.
Yeah.
I think we had this discussion on here. I don't know what y'all, you, Tyler or Will, what y'all settled on, but I do believe that Kong roaring back is his acknowledgement of he lost. Do y'all disagree, or do y'all have any thoughts on that?
I think Kong, like, I don't know, like, I don't think he really submitted. I think Godzilla just left him because, you know, he had a bigger fish to fry, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's something I kind of thought about, but like, so now I'm gonna quote Rob here. He essentially said that if that's the case and Godzilla like felt sorry for him or just he didn't bother killing him, that's almost worse, because that means that like he didn't even see Kong as that enough of a threat to like worry about. I did hear someone say that, well, maybe Godzilla knows that Kong is a natural part of the ecosystem or whatever, and since Godzilla's not worried about losing to him, he didn't kill him. You know, even though it looked like he potentially could die, I would say, you know, they said his heart was slowing down. I honestly feel like Kong was probably not going to die, but he definitely wasn't going to be getting up anytime soon. That's my opinion. But you know, we're breaking. It's kind of hard to tell, but I really do think, based on Kong's facial expressions and like how Godzilla nods after the roar, it seems to me like it was Kong accepting defeat.
Yeah.
The way I see it is, I think Kong still wanted to fight if he had it in him. I feel like if Kong would have gotten up and attacked Godzilla after the whole roar thing, Godzilla would have put him down right then and there. Because, I mean, we have seen Godzilla spare Titans in the past. He spared Rodan in King of the Monsters after Rodan not only betrayed his allegiance to Godzilla, but also killed Mothra.
Yeah, but that's the number one thing that you'll notice, that when Godzilla spares them, like in King of the Monsters, when he looks around at all the monsters, yeah, they all start bowing, and then you see him kind of nod. Like, it's like a slight, like, you know, he's like looking, he spins around at them, and when I first saw the film, I didn't understand. I thought he was like preparing to fight them all, but then you see them start bowing. But I think what he was doing is, like, he knew they weren't trying to kill him. He knew he was looking to make sure, okay, are y'all in agreement here? Y'all are putting your heads down? Good. Like, that's kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, yeah, you're bound. Okay, we're all good here.
Yeah.
But, and I'm not trying to
I think the difference is we've never really seen an alpha battle that ended in submission. The only alpha battle we've really seen has ended in complete and utter obliteration. And, I mean, there at the very end when Kong drops the axe, I think dropping the axe is the biggest sign of submission for me personally. Because I think that is kind of Kong admitting that if Godzilla would have attacked him right then and there, battle would have been over.
Oh, I thought you meant during...
But, I mean, Kong did, even though he was kind of told by Gia, but, I mean, he did help in defeating Mechagodzilla and defeating Ghidorah, which was something that was driving Godzilla off the wall. So maybe that's why there wasn't that bowing scene.
Yeah, I don't think... Like, here's the thing. I definitely... Whether Kong submitted or not, clearly they weren't going to have Kong bow to Godzilla, because that would piss a lot of Kong's fans off to make it that blatant. But, I'm not sure. What I'll say is... one thing I was seeing a lot of Kong fans saying is like, well, notice Godzilla didn't want to fight at the end there, and he left. So clearly, what happens is Kong is not Kong. When Kong grabs the axe and gets up, it's not because Kong's like, oh, I can't wait to fight Godzilla again. I'm gonna get him.
He's like,
No,
he's bracing
when Kong-
himself.
He's like, yeah, he hears Godzilla and he's like, oh, he's about to come for me. And so Kong is not a coward. I'm not saying that whatsoever. He's ready to fight if he has to, but he's also smart and he knows that this is a fight I probably can't win. So when he gets the option whether to fight or not when Godzilla comes over to him, which clearly Godzilla is already showing, hey, I'm not really trying to whoop you. I'm just trying to go home. I'm just making sure you understand who's boss here. Kong drops the axe, but it you know, I gotta send this if I can find this picture. I read this whole Facebook post, and I gotta tell you, man, Kong fans are something else. It was posted in the Nation. It was just some guy in all capitals being like, it was like barely legible, like talking about how, I don't know. I can't even begin to describe it. But the guy in the thing basically act like Kong at the end beats Mechagodzilla by himself and then rips his head off, and it's like, okay, sure, that's what happened. Kong definitely would have beat Mechagodzilla on his own. Like, let's redo that fight, except Mechagodzilla, Kong, no axe. Let's go.
Goodness.
Let's see what happens. Even if Kong had the charged axe fighting Mechagodzilla, if the fight had started that way, I don't think Kong would have won. Kong needed Godzilla's distraction, and he needed Josh to ruin Bernie's alcohol in order to win that fight. I mean, now, I'm saying that Kong's dismantling of Mechagodzilla, I haven't got... There was a lot of scenes that made me excited. That's one of the few scenes I've gotten excited for in the theater, that excited for in my life. Like, I was like, that was a really awesome, one of the coolest, like, takedowns I've seen in a movie, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Clearly, Kong is not superior to Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, definitely not. And
If this was a fight where Kong... Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, to the submission thing, like, I think he did submit, because, like, in the movie they said how, like, oh, this won't end until one of them submits, and then we see that part where, like, the battle kind of just ends, and Godzilla has to face Mecha G. So that, the battle kind of ends there, right? So, like, that would technically mean that one of them submitted. And so Kong submitted.
Kong fans are acting like the referee came in to break up the fight too early. Like, it's like, oh my god. Like, I don't want to make another pro wrestling reference, but there's like this big thing called the Montreal Screwjob.
Oh
where,
god.
One of the guys, you know what I'm talking about, Tyler?
Oh, it's legendary. The screw job.
Yeah, if you know about wrestling, it's legendary. Bret Hart. Okay, Shawn Michaels had Bret Hart in Bret Hart's finishing move, which was the
Sharpshooter.
I can't believe that's slipping my mind. Thank you, the sharpshooter. And so Shawn Michaels had him in his own move, and he was going to tap him out. Bret Hart behind the scenes. So this was like, wrestling is obviously staged. Behind the scenes, Bret Hart had said, "I'm not going to lose tonight." This was at the big pay-per-view. I'm going to lose tomorrow night because Bret Hart was about to leave the company. But he wanted to. When you leave a company, you lose. He was the champion, so you lose your belt and then you leave. So you make the next guy look good because you can't just have the guy, be the champion and just leave. And so, because what that means is if the champion just leaves, well then your other champion, well he was not as good as the guy who just left. So, but Bret Hart didn't want to play by the rules because he was the top dog. So he's like, okay, well I'm not going to lose this match. I'll lose tomorrow night on Raw, which is like a show that less people would be watching. But I'm not going to lose tonight. And that's what they came in and agreed with. But in the middle of the match, he has him in the move, and obviously he's not tapping. And Vince McMahon comes out and tells them to call the match and say that he tapped. And so that was a big controversy in wrestling. Because, like, in real life, Bret was cheated because he wasn't supposed to lose that match. So essentially, that whole little history lesson, that's what Kong fans are claiming happened here. And it's like, come on, guys. Okay, it's a clear victor. I saw someone saying, he didn't even say Kong should have won or anything. He was just saying, well, they really didn't have a clear winner in this movie. And I'm like, how more clear can it get? Like, did you need Godzilla to kill Kong to call this movie? I don't know. That's my little rant.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just pick apart anything to seem like they won, or Kong is better or something.
Hey, so now that we're about to start winding down, but I want to see real quick. Do either of y'all have any questions for Methlo? Because I've been kind of directing this for a little bit, but I'm curious if y'all have anything y'all want to bring up before we wrap this up.
I think I'm good for now. Well, you Will.
I think the only thing I would say is, you just had this, huge thing with the channel being taken down for a while. Do you think that was just a fluke, or is that going to... Will this affect how you upload in the future at all?
That's a good question. It definitely affected the immediate videos afterwards, because there was some GVK leaks out there, but out of total precaution, I didn't go over those. But I think for the future, I'll still be doing what I'm doing, to be honest, because by then it'll already be... I'm not really sure when the next Godzilla, like the MonsterVerse movie, is coming on. Let's say 2 years. I think by 2 years, I think things would probably be different, and the copyright strike I have right now, for example, would already be gone and all that kind of jazz. So I think just in the media effect, yes, but in the long term, no.
Okay. And then, is YouTube the only platform that you upload your content to? Or do you do, like, Dailymotion or Facebook video, or I don't even know what all there is out there right now?
Snapchat.
Yeah, it's just YouTube. YouTube's the only place I upload.
The Methlokaiju putting the leaks up on OnlyFans. Make up Godzilla full design link it to my OnlyFans. Oh my gosh.
Put it on Pornhub or something.
Yeah, put the whole movie up on porn, or on like I saw someone put the whole Godzilla vs. Kong movie up on X videos.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's the whole movie's up there on a
wow.
porn site. Yeah, so that's
wow.
they can get away with like that copyright for some reason on the porn site for some reason. I don't know why. Like I guess Warner Bros isn't looking at xvideos.com like okay, these guys are about to upload Godzilla vs. Kong.
I mean, I do remember on Pornhub, there was the Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla from like 1974. So I watched that. It was kind of cool. I don't know why I was on Pornhub, but yeah, I was there.
Other people go to Pornhub for porn. I go to Pornhub for Godzilla movies.
Chad.
Absolute Chad. Well, that being said, we're pretty close on time. I'm trying to cut these videos these podcasts to not be much more than 90 minutes because our last podcast was almost 3 hours with the combination of King Kong versus Godzilla and Godzilla versus Kong. We did like a 2-parter. We recorded them at separate dates before and after Godzilla versus Kong came out. Mm-hmm. So what we actually do usually is we're just doing the going through the movies each episode, and then we talk about other stuff like the news and stuff. But a big segment of our thing will be like we did episode 1 was Gojira or Godzilla King of the Monsters 1954. Episode 2 Godzilla Raids Again, and then last episode we did a 2-parter since it worked out perfectly. The first part was King Kong versus Godzilla, and then we recorded that, and then we recorded the second part after watching Godzilla vs. Kong, and we put them together. I'll tell you, that was a hellish process to edit. Not the editing per se. The editing wasn't bad. It was the processing. It took so long, and there were so many things. Google Drive not wanting to work with a file that big. So I'm trying to cut those down. But that being said, as I explained that, I'm just running this timeout, so we should go ahead and wrap this up. Obviously, subscribe to Methlokaiju on YouTube. Do you have anything else you want to plug?
Thank you. Do I have any what?
Anything else you want to plug, or anything else you post on, or?
Oh, I have an Instagram, I guess, if you guys want to follow me there.
You heard the man. Follow him.
You better follow him on Instagram.
Or else.
I have a Twitter, I guess, too. But, you know, it's your decision if you want to follow me there. But, yeah, I'm mostly active on YouTube, so, yeah.
All right, well, with that being said, this has been another episode of the Brozilla Podcast. And unlike Kingdom Kong, we hold a high level of quality here. So, please make sure to come back for the next episode. I have a feeling we might get a small spike in viewership here, so if you're listening to this, please stay for the other episodes.
We're so long.
Yeah, we not. I'm losing my words here. I probably should wrap this up. This has been the Brozilla Podcast, episode 4, with the special guest Methlokaiju. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all guys next week with Mothra versus Godzilla.